and as a people prioritize research. But my emphasis as a public health specialist is that we need to keep our investment simple. Okay? Because one key pillar of primary health, which is the cornerstone of care delivery in Nigeria, is appropriate technology. We desired everything, but we need to cut our coat according to the size of our cloth. Please note that Nigeria has adopted several strategies that we have not fully implemented, just like my colleague from Cross River said. We have what we call the DSN, Disease Surveillance and Notification System. It's a strategy that simply will work because there are over 60 diseases that can be picked as quickly as possible. We also have what we call the IDSR, Integrated Disease Surveillance and Response, a strategy that puts one IDSR officer in every local government of Nigeria. So the question is, how much have we activated this system to deliver on the expected outcome? Very recently, I mean, I'm proud to say WHO awarded Ogun State as the best state in Nigeria in terms of IDSR. But that, we have not even gotten to where we want to be, because what we need to do is to have surveillance officers everywhere and some level of diagnostic capacity based on case definition, so that we don't even have to refer everybody we see to the research center, because we do not have the funding to sustain that level of inclusiveness, right? So if we're able to do case definition, I will now see those, like I tell people, monkeypox, rash in the face, history of contact, rash in the palm, on the sole. That's a probable case, just like you said. And then those are the cases, but not all rashes, okay? And so if we're able to do our PAC system in such a way that strategies that we have adopted, I've implemented 50% of the way. We'll be able to do some diagnosis by exclusion. Then those who require confirmatory tests will have access to them in a way that follows scientific thinking, not some degree of arbitrariness. But finally, the issue here is that we need to change the culture of communication. He has said it rightly. Many of these conditions are zoonotic diseases, and the preventive methodology are the same. The communication are the same. Personal hygiene, environmental hygiene, minimize man-animal contact. It's the same. Whether it's Ebola, whether it's Lassa, whether it's chickenpox, whether it's monkeypox, whatever it's coming into a public health space, all we need to do is to change our culture of communication and also our culture of handling many of these animals, particularly those who see bushmeat as delicacy.
Back to you. I'm coming to you, Dr. Bakari. You said in Cross River State you have the largest number of monkeys.
Yes.
But it's also known that in terms of like bushmeat, areas that love bushmeat, I mean, I love bushmeat. Cross River, Benue, that axis, I know. What kind of precaution or measures do we have in place to ensure that the people who are even in the rural communities understand and know that, hey, for this, don't go near, or for now, please stay away from this?
We have a very strong primary healthcare system in Cross River State. Like he mentioned, disease surveillance and notification officers. We have community mobilization officers in all the wards, in all the local governments. What do we tell them? We talk to them about prevention. And the single most important way of prevention of this monkeypox virus is hand washing. And coincidentally, tomorrow happens to be the World Hand Washing Day, October 15th. But in Cross River State, we're having a one-week activity. The First Lady of the State, Dr. Linda Ayade, hosted a breakfast meeting of all stakeholders in health, agri, and everybody that has to do with health. And that was a week ago, to herald the beginning of community mobilization process and sensitization on hand washing. And the theme is our hands, our future. If we could just get hand washing right, talking about improperly cooked meat is just secondary. You have to make sure that you cook your meat well. We don't want malnourished people. That's why we don't really stress the fact of saying do not eat it. Do not eat it if it is dead. Fine. If that animal is dead, please don't eat it. If that animal has shown signs of sickness, do not eat it.
But how would a hunter know the animal has shown signs of sickness if he's just going to the bush to...
Yes, hunters is their job, is their stock in trade, so they know. That's what they do for a living, so they know. So, and of course, even when you eat the meat, once it's properly cooked, you know viruses, they are very friable, they are very fragile. Heat kills them easily, just like the HIV virus, you know. So as long as you cook that meat well, then you are good to go. But to just prevent, which is, we are talking about prevention better than cure, we now say don't eat. But what of communities that's the only source of meat? But like we said, it's actually illegal to eat monkey meat. But remember, it's not only monkeys that actually transfer this virus from animal to man. We have squirrels, we have rabbits, we have even rats, our own household rats that live with us. That's why we also talk about environmental hygiene. Environmental hygiene is key because, I mean, if your house and your surroundings are dirty, definitely you're going to have rats in your surroundings. So we just talk about these ways of prevention across our communities. We have town announcers that are working with the state government already. So these town announcers already know their job. They have constant trainings and retrainings. So when this happens, it just goes down. Like I mentioned, the disease surveillance and response team. So it goes down to local governments, disease surveillance and notification officers, down to the wards, down to the village. We even have village health committees. And those are made up of the opinion leaders and stakeholders in those villages, in those communities.
But what about the buy-in from the rural areas?
Yes, that's why, like this committee, you know, once your leader tells you, this is it, this is right, this is wrong, this is what it is, it's easy for you to accept it. You know, it's very easy for you to accept it coming from them. So we talk to them, and they talk to you, and we also talk to you, and they also tell you that we are going to talk to you. So it's now easy for us to pass that message on. Unlike if we just go there on our own and just use our own staff right down. So that's why we actually work with. In fact, most of the cases is the community that calls us. People from the community that call, there's this case, we go there and then we try to find out if it's a probable case, if it actually meets the case definition, and then we follow up and do the next step.
You know, Dr. Bakare, the other side of it is, while we're trying to inform the rural communities, those in the field of practice, how aware are they? Because sometimes you bring a patient, a suspected case, to a healthcare center or a hospital, as the case may be, and they are turned back.
So I'm actually trying to pick where to start all of this from. So let's pick it from the healthcare workers, and how do we keep them sensitized, like round the clock around.
And I'm talking about illnesses generally,
yes,
not just about
definitely.
monkey.
So the idea of index of suspicion is what we are trying to address here. That a patient walks into the health facility, and by mere looking at the patient kit and understanding what is happening in the environment, you can start thinking quickly about, okay, this might be what is walking to the door. Again, it boils down to communication. Like one of those things that we are experimenting in Lagos State now is what we call Alert Clinic, which is a technology that decentralizes messaging to local government level. That at the level of local government, understanding, because every week, since about 1988, sir, every week, every local government, based on the IDSR, every local government publishes an epidemiology report.
And it's there.
It is there.
Where is it? When you say published, is it in public space or published into the secretariat?
Now that is the situation. They publish it to the state, and the state also publish their PID report every week to the federal government. The federal government publishes a summarized PID report every week.
Where?
Now, it is archived.
Okay.
The NCDC places it on their website. But what we are trying to experiment with now is, can we say local government report is ready, we make it available to people in the local government? State-led is ready, we make it available to those in the state. And federal-led, we make it available to people across the country. So that, for instance, you return back to your village in Cross River, you're able to say, oh, I'm back in the village now. You can open something that tells you, oh, this is what is happening in this area now.
Okay, just hold your thoughts. We'll come back to going to your village and say this is what's happening in this area. Please don't go away.